So here are 10 books that we want to read this fall, and we think you should read them as well.
I will start. This one is The Nightingale. And if you're watching this and you're thinking I'm crazy that I have not read it yet, you're correct. I have not read anything by Kristen Hanna yet. I plan on reading a different one of hers soon. I want to do that before fall, but this is going to be one that I prioritize in the fall. I think I've been intimidated because of how long it is, and it's historical fiction, which isn't always my jam, but I've heard excellent things, so I'm excited to give this one a try.
This is one we both want to read this fall. It just screams fall. The Simplicity of Cider by Amy Reichert. Something's fun. I just read a book by her last year, and it was so good. And this one takes place on an orchard, so what's not to love?
And then we've got The Butcher and the Wren. We're both excited to read this one. I stumbled across this one, I feel like, just at a bookstore and hadn't really heard much about it. And now I've seen a couple different people share about it on Instagram. And it actually has a sequel coming out soon too. So I really want to get to this one because then I'm sure I'm going to want to read the sequel right after or shortly thereafter. This author also has a true crime podcast. So serial killer vibes all around for this one. If you're interested in books like this and you haven't read this one, you might want to pick it up too.
For sure. Next is What Moves the Dead. This is a novella by T. Kingfisher. This is a retelling of Edgar Allan Poe's The Fall of the House of Usher. And we just watched the series on Netflix last fall, so we're really looking forward to diving into this because it was pretty creepy.
Very creepy, just from the cover alone. And then this one is called Rouge. It's got a really intriguing cover, if I do say so myself. This author also wrote Bunny, so maybe you're familiar with that one. I have not read that one by her, so this will be my first read by her. And this is kind of like a dark reimagining. So we just talked about a reimagining on the last book of Snow White, or it's like a Snow White-esque themed book. I believe it falls into the horror category. So I've had this on my shelf for too long, so it's time to read it ASAP.
The next one is a book that you may have heard of. It's pretty highly regarded. It's The Road by Cormac McCarthy. I was looking for this book and I found it for $2 at a library sale, so I knew it was meant to be. But I know this is a post-apocalyptic story, and from what I hear, it has a lot of creepy elements to it. So this one I'm looking forward to very much.
Switching gears to not creepy, because sometimes, you need a palate cleanser in the fall, and it doesn't all have to be thrillers, even though I'm very much drawn to thrillers and horror and creepy in the fall. But this one just seems like a cozy read. It's called The Lost Story by Meg Schaefer. And I also read The Wishing Game by her, so you might be familiar with that one. Well, this is her newest book. I've heard that if you love the Narnia series, so if you're a fan of the Chronicles of Narnia and you read those as a kid, or you've even read them more recently, then you might be a fan of this. So it's like an adult fairy tale. It just has such a whimsical, beautiful cover, so I'm drawn in right from there.
No doubt. So my next book is a Stephen King book, and this will actually be my first time I read a Stephen King book, and I'm choosing Misery as my first book. So seeing how it goes, it may be my first or my last, but I'm thinking it'll be my first of many Stephen King books. So definitely check this one out if you're new to Stephen King as well, because I heard this is a great one to start with.
And let's see, last in my stack here, I think we're both curious about this one. I especially
100%.
am, but it is on the long side. However, it has like super short chapters, so maybe I'll like think I'm getting through it faster. I don't know, but it's called All the Colors of the Dark. You've probably seen this one floating around because it seems like a very buzzy book. And then of course, now that I've seen this one, I'm gonna want to probably go back and read others by this same author. But we'll see how this one goes first. But yeah, I think we're both excited to read it sooner rather than later. But it is a little bit intimidating because of the length.
You might have read it.
But I have heard really good things overall.
And last but not least is one that's on both of our radars as well. It's Incidents Around the House by Josh Malerman. You may recognize his name because he wrote the book Bird Box that got turned into that crazy Netflix movie with Sandra Bullock. But this one looks like a nightmare in a book. And
yeah, I'm a little afraid of it.
I'm scared of it, but I'm also scared not to read it.
I mean, look at that's a bunny, isn't it? A creepy bunny on the
So
side.
this would be a great book for October, maybe around Halloween. But if you love horror,
that's probably a good
This may be a book for you.
choice. Yep.
So those are 10 books
There we have
that
it.
we want to read this
should
fall. Let us know what
We'll
you're
let you,
reading.
can see our stack here. Let's stack them up.
Let us know if any of these
Yeah.
are on your list as well.
Here. There we
Super
go.
stack.
There we go. Maybe without knocking it over. It's a good stack right there.
Thank you for watching.